Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Brett's Brain. We've talked a couple of times in the past about tips and tricks around shutting your company down, how to do it gracefully. Today, we're going to dive into how do you know when it's time to shut your company down? It's a really tough thing for an entrepreneur to face. We are naturally optimistic. We are naturally us against the world. If you weren't, you wouldn't be doing this. You hear no all the time. You hear it's not going to work all the time. So you have to have that willingness to bang your head against the wall and continue on. And I don't believe that there's like any rule of thumb, like you have to shut it down here or here. I've taken a company that wasn't as successful and had to shut it down in the past. And I know at the moment that I knew it was time to shut down was actually during a conversation I was having with one of our investors and advisors. And he asked me, Brett, do you fundamentally believe in this business still? And I was honest and intellectually honest with him. And I said, I don't think I do. And we didn't have enough capital to pivot or to go to something completely different. And at that moment, it's when answering that question, I realized that I no longer fundamentally believed in the value prop of our company. And from that moment on, it was easy for us to liquidate, to sell what we could, and to return as much capital as we could to our investors. Um, if I had still fundamentally believed in that business, I would have said, yeah, like this is a thing. I know it is. I would have still had the drive. I still would have had the passion. Could I have continued to work on that company, even though I might not have fundamentally believed? Sure, I could have, but it was better for everybody if I was intellectually honest and I moved on and I helped us move on as gracefully as we possibly could, return as much capital as I could to our investors. There's a real opportunity cost for an entrepreneur and your investors and your employees and your mentors. You need to handle it well. But to me, the moment that you know it's time to move on is when you look yourself in the mirror and no longer fundamentally believe in the thing that you're doing or the thing that you're building. And you might have down periods for one day, but if you start feeling that day after day after day, it's time. That's the signal to move on. Without your passion and your belief in your product, you are not going to overcome the mountain that is building a startup.